Okay, hi. If you guys are having trouble with your Nayax card reader, and right now this card reader appears functioning because if I hit these 3 bars and I hit terminal info, I'll show that it's online because I'll have an RSSI of 17 or higher. This one is super low, but it's working. In the event that you have an error code that says cash only, and you go here, this might display 99. 99 means out of order. A couple things you want to do is reboot the machine. Sometimes you need to reboot it for 3 minutes. In other words, unplug it for 3 minutes and then plug it back in. When you open up the machine and look at the card reader, you'll notice a couple things. There's a cable that's plugged in, and there is an antenna jack that looks like this. That antenna jack goes in that hole on the card reader and it clicks in by pushing. That antenna will run all the way to the machine to an antenna mount that looks like this. Oftentimes you have a low signal or no signal because you did not put the antenna on. The antenna will be found inside the machine in the bag with the other hardware. If you put this antenna on, you will be able to increase your signal strength or RSSI. And after doing so, once again, you could reboot the machine. You could unplug it for 3 minutes and plug it back in. You could also go here and hit technician mode and try a password. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You could also go down to reboot and hit that arrow. In the event everything fails, go down and do a factory reset by hitting this arrow and then letting it do its thing for several minutes before trying it again. In the event you cannot gain a good signal, you could buy a high gain antenna. In which case, the small antenna, which is a few decibels, will come off, and this will connect right on and increase the signal strength. Some more Nayax troubleshooting. We have a customer that says that the card reader won't work, or it's displaying an error code. They went into their Nayax application or their MoMA app. You go into your machines and you find your machine. Now, your machine will display one of two things, it either being online or offline. In the event is offline, the machine is not communicating to the internet. In which case, we will go back to our first steps, make sure our antenna jack is plugged in to the card reader. We will make sure that there is an antenna pole on the card reader, and we will do a reboot, and we will leave it powered off for 3 minutes. In the event the machine does not still go online or there's an error code, what we could do is reseat the SIM card. You'll see here that there's a little metal lever that goes down to unlock it and up to lock it in place. You could take this SIM card out, make sure it's installed the right way, in which case this triangle cutout will be on the top left, like this. You could go ahead and slide that SIM in gently. You don't need to push it hard. You will push it in and slide this metal piece up. Oftentimes you will need to do another reboot. It'll take several minutes to recognize the SIM, and you could try that again. For final troubleshooting, you could unplug this yellow cable while the machine is off. There's a couple clips here that squeeze in and up. to unplug it. If you were to follow that cable, it's going to connect to one or two of these while the machine is off. You can also unclip that and clip it back in. Same with this one. And while the machine is off, you could just make sure that everything looks good and in place. Don't mind that, that's a testing figure. And to do that, you might need to take off a few screws here. I don't think you will need to do that. That would be the last step. But that is some further troubleshooting on Nayax. Remember that the Nayax reader has nothing to do with the machine being online. The actual machine being online is this large antenna mount, in which case one would use the Wi-Fi antenna which looks like this and screws on to the machine. We're good. So, switching gears, if you want to put the machine on Wi-Fi, remember that it has nothing to do with the card reader, but if you go into your settings by hitting the circle and swiping up, and go into settings and network and internet, you can see that we're connected to the Wi-Fi now. In fact, our signal is excellent. And we also confirm that if we are on Wi-Fi, that our Ethernet is off. If we're using Wi-Fi, Ethernet disabled, Wi-Fi on and connected to a network. High gain Wi-Fi antenna is also on.